In the previous video, we had seen one of the non-finites, that is gerund. And in this video, we have the second non-finite, participles. Participles. Words that behave as verbs and adjectives. Gerunds, we have seen, are words that behave as verbs and nouns, and participles behave as verbs and adjectives. If gerunds are called verbal nouns, participles would be called verbal adjectives. Present participles end in ing like gerund. So in form, they are like gerunds because they end in ing. But they are verbal adjectives and not verbal nouns. In other words, they behave like adjectives and not like nouns in addition to being verbs. Now, they take different forms in present and past. In present participle, they end in ing, and past participle, they end in the so-called perfect tense form. So we have participles that behave as verbal adjectives, whereas gerunds that behave as verbal nouns. Present participle. In form, they are like gerunds, ing form of verb without any preceding be verb. Look at the man who is carrying a basket. Is carrying makes a full or finite verb. It is a be verb and an ing verb. And who is carrying a basket qualifies the man. Look at this man. Look at this man who is carrying a basket. Do not look at these men. These men are not carrying the basket. Which man you should look at? It is this man you should look at. It qualifies the man. It specifies which man you should look at. So it's an adjective clause. That is, it does the work of an adjective. Which man? The man who is carrying a basket is an adjective clause doing the work of an adjective. Now the same sentence can be rewritten as, look at the man carrying a basket. Look at the man carrying a basket. Carrying is a verb. It is formed from the word carry, root verb carry plus ing. It takes an object. Carrying what? Carrying a basket. Carrying is an adjective because it qualifies the noun man. Which man? The man carrying the basket. Look at the tall man. Tall is an adjective. Look at the tall man. Tall is an adjective. The same thing you can say as, look at the man who is tall. Similarly, the man who is carrying a basket is a man carrying a basket. It is an adjective qualifying man. Past participle. They take the same form as perfect tense without any preceding has or have. They have arrested the thief. And we know that whenever you have has or have followed by a verb, it is a perfect tense. And here it is has or have, it is present perfect. If it had been had, it would have been past perfect. The man arrested yesterday was Tom's father. The man who was arrested yesterday was Tom's father. Arrested is a verb. It is formed from the verb arrest. It takes an adverb yesterday, adverb of time. When was he arrested? The man was arrested yesterday. This is an adverb of time, modifying the word like a verb. It is also an adjective because it qualifies the man. Which man? The man arrested yesterday. The man who was arrested yesterday. The man arrested means the man who was arrested. So this qualifies the man and also has an adverb modifying it. So it is a verb and adjective combined. When do we use participle? When we want to describe something. I heard someone singing. I heard someone who was singing. He saw his friend walking along the road. He saw his friend who was walking along the road. I can smell something burning. I caught the boy stealing apples. I caught the boy who was stealing apples again. We found some money lying on the ground. The money which was lying on the ground. Substitute for while. Whistling to himself, he walked down the road. Walking across the field, I saw a gold coin. Running across the road, he fell down and badly hurt himself. Feeling hungry, he went into the kitchen and opened the fridge. So in this case, we have substitute for while, or as, or because. Being poor, he lived in an old house. Because he was poor, he lived in an old house. And this is also a reason, because he was feeling hungry, he went into the kitchen. Knowing that his mother was coming, he cleaned the flat. Because he knew his mother was coming, so he cleaned the flat. Finding his boss asleep, he crept out of the factory quietly. So these are the uses of participles. Now let's have the exercise. Replace the italicized part with present participles. She was talking to her friend and she forgot everything. Now, was talking is a complete verb. So, talking to her friend, she forgot everything. That would be participle. They are vegetarians and so they don't eat fish or meat. Here you can write being vegetarian because they're vegetarian. Being, B-E-I-N-G. Being vegetarians, you can write B-E-I-N-G. Being vegetarians, they don't eat fish or meat. So being would be the participle used here. Being vegetarians. The dog barked angrily and at the same time it bit the intruder. Barking angrily, the dog bit the intruder. He was a good boy and so helped or obeyed his mother. So helped and obeyed, It would be because he was a good boy, he helped and obeyed his mother. Or being a good boy. So here also we will use being a good boy. Being a good boy, he helped and obeyed his mother. As they didn't have enough money, they spent their holidays at home. Not having enough money. The man was sitting in the cafe. He was reading a paper. Now, we have two different sentences which we can join using participle. Sitting at the cafe. Sitting in the cafe or sitting at the cafe, he was reading a paper. While he was sitting, if you want to join without participle, and with participle, sitting in the cafe, he was reading a paper. Since I did not feel well, I did not go to school. Not feeling well or feeling unwell. Not feeling well, that is because I did not feel well. Not feeling well, I did not go to school. While she was strolling in the park, she met her old teacher. Strolling in the park. Strolling in the park, she met her old teacher. Instead of saying while she was strolling, you can omit this part and write strolling in the park, she met her old teacher. So, thank you. That was our video on non-finite participle.